All right, can we get those lights green, please? We are 1 minute away from the top of the hour. And the clock has struck 30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to wish everyone a good evening and welcome everyone to our City Council agenda as of March 23rd. And with that, I will pass the floor to Clerk Tomasic to please call roll.
Schumate,
Here.
Bosmer,
Here.
Cox,
Here.
Dill,
Here.
LaPointe, McNabb, Molnar.
Here.
Is there a motion to excuse absent member?
Motion to excuse Councilwoman LaPointe.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. With that, council, I will call your attention to the approval of agenda. Council, important to note that you should have received an email today from our city clerk relating to a motion for appointment to our Parks and Recreation Commission. I would ask council to consider a motion to add to our agenda the appointment to the Parks and Recreation Commission under new business. Do we have a motion?
Make the motion to add the Parks and Recreation Commission nomination to new business for our agenda.
Motion by Bosmer, and that would be item number K.
Second.
Second by McNabb. Any discussion on this? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And with an approved agenda with the revision, I'd like to get a motion to approve the agenda as revised. We have a motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Motion to approve the agenda as revised.
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. And with that, we love to turn over the floor to our members of public. If there's any members of public that wish to address council, we'd like to welcome you to the podium. Just make sure that light is green, and please state your name and address.
Lenore Bolthouse, 30567 Young. Yes. I'd like to understand the gas station. So is it my understanding that we no longer get any revenues from them other than property tax, if I understand that correctly? And do we know if there's anything that's going to go on with that as far as new business coming in, or what are we going to do? Do we need to get rid of the gas tanks that are there? Those kinds of things. I'm just a little curious about that. The current budget, I'd like to understand where we are in the current budget, where it relates to the additional costs and/or whatever's going on with the radon coming in here. How much have we spent so far? Do we have an estimate as how much more we may be spending? You had Radon come in and do their proposal, which I understand. I would like to know if this council is open to having, not the opposition, just additional information. I understand you all are going out and you're gathering data. I get that. But we have resources that you might not know about, or maybe you do, but are you open to have someone come in and give you another view? And one of the reasons I bring this up is regarding closed-loop systems. I know what he said, but I also see some other things. I want to make sure that we get the whole picture. Not saying that you're not going to see the whole picture, but I'd like us all to see the whole picture. So I'm asking if you're open to that. Also, I do appreciate that you put on the city website regarding the data center and stuff. Is there any way that you might be able to add, like, what are, like, the next steps that we're waiting for? Like, okay, we're waiting for this. It's going to be this time. Or even if you don't know what time it is, just put it out there, to TBD. I think that might keep a couple of things in people's forefront. The last thing I'd like to know about is, do I understand that there's something about the Young resolution to support the Young Drive Bridge? I'll probably listen to it, but Is that because we're going out to get bids to have it fixed? And is this going to be fixed? Do we know when, or I think it's going out for grants or something to that effect. So I really am interested a little bit more about the Young Bridge, since when I moved in here, that used to be a one-lane bridge, just like Horse Island. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council this evening? Please.
Good evening. My name is Emily Coker, 13335 Grandview. I was at the town hall 2 weeks ago. Since then, due to the emails and texts I've seen come through, I would like to know what was the scope of the background check on Jason Green. I believe, Mr. Bullard, Chief Bullard, you were in charge of that by Miss Witherspoon here. And I'd like to bring to your attention, because I'm not sure how well this scope was. I have some facts. Advanced Micro Devices owns Radon. Eldos Law in Texas is a firm specializing in wrongful death. Ukraine is at war with Russia, and the U.S. is at war with Iran. LDS Law is representing Ukrainians along with other firms in federal court against ADM, alleging failure for oversight of export laws that prohibit the sales and transfer of controlled semiconductor technology and weapons being used, in this case supplying China, Russia, and the Ukraine. The suit was started in 2025. That was last fall, a year ago. Additional suits allege that 10 patents for chip technology were infringed as well. The cases are Ukrainian citizens versus U.S. chip makers, ADIA Inc. versus AMD. In a city memo, city administrator said a citizen was concerned with COO Jason Green being compliant. Ms. Witherspoon asserted this person, and I quote, had good intentions but was misinformed. She threw in her personal opinion that the AI Center was a good opportunity for the city to offset taxes. In all good conscience, how is supporting companies tied to our enemy good for our city that you don't reside in? I believe it's Livonia that you reside in. On top of that, Ms. Witherspoon, I went to U of M Dearborn as well. I have a policy degree. You have an administration degree. From what I can tell, you've used the same executive search to obtain this job that you did in Pentwater. Now, I'm having a hard time wondering how, if we have similar degrees from the same school, my research tends to show a lot more than Mr. Green being of good moral and ethical standards. Does anyone care to respond as to the extent of the scope of the background search on Mr. Green? I also have found other
I just want to let you know
lawyers.
we are at the 3-minute mark, so any final comments, please
Okay,
make them now.
so I'll just make this one. I would like to be able to send all the links that I have on my research to the members of council so that they can see just the ethical standards of this company that Mr. Green is owned by, because they're not very good.
Please, will you send that? All of our emails are published online, or we can get them for you this evening once the meeting
I'll be
closes.
more than glad to.
Thank you so much. Are there any additional members of public that wish to address council this evening?
My name's Kristen. I'm at 29251 Lowell Street. Good evening. I want to thank you guys for passing the moratorium. I want to make sure what's authorized tonight is strong enough to protect the town. My family has already spent over $6,000 installing a reverse osmosis system in our house to eliminate forever chemicals from the drinking water because of what McLouth Steel left behind. We can filter our water, but we can't filter the air. Once those 35 diesel generators are running, they're going to release nitrogen oxide, benzenes, formaldehyde, which cause cancer. At the town hall, Radon said that they're waterless, but an engineer in the audience pointed out that DTE needs 500,000 gallons of water to cool 100 megawatts of power. Mr. Green did not deny it. When he said they use no water, what he means is they outsource the water use to DTE, which pulls from our Great Lakes. DTE has already raised residential rates by over 117% in the last 20 years, while industrial rates have only seen an 11% increase. Gibraltar residents will be subsidizing this facility 4 times over, with water, with our electric bills, with our health, and with data center tax breaks. My main concern is billion-dollar companies find loopholes in vague ordinance language. They pay fines as a cost of doing business and expand into areas they promise to leave alone. This is the playbook all over the country. They said they won't touch the marsh, and in 5 years, there will be a legal battle over how close they can build on it or next to it. We don't want a situation where Gibraltar is left trying to enforce weak ordinance standards against a company with more lawyers than we have on the city council here today. In Loudoun County, Virginia, which is Data Center Alley, they ended by right approvals in 2025. Courts have upheld local zoning authority. We have case law on our side. What I am asking for is special land use classification requiring a public hearing, 1,000-foot setbacks from homes in sensitive areas, independent noise studies with low-frequency standards, written communication from DTE that this facility's full power demand won't trigger new infrastructure costs that get passed on to Gibraltar residents, enforceable water limits with real penalties on radon, and third-party documentation of the full upstream water impact, including DTE's draw from the Great Lakes, before any permit goes forward. I'd also like to see independent third-party pre-construction air quality baseline and independent air quality monitoring funded entirely by radon, not self-reported. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Any additional members of public that wish to address council?
Good evening. My name is Joey Sturgis, 29251 Lowell Street, Gibraltar resident. I want to bring attention to something that isn't in McKenna's scope of work, but absolutely should be. It's called infrasound. I've produced music professionally for 20 years and have owned and operated an audio software company for 13 years. Sound is not just something I care about, it's something I understand at a technical level. And what I'm about to describe concerns me. Data centers produce low-frequency sound below the range of human hearing, typically below 20 hertz. You can't hear it, but your body can feel it. This is generated by the massive cooling systems, backup generators, and power distribution units that run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Emerging research links prolonged infrasound exposure to sleep disruption, headaches, fatigue, elevated stress hormones, and in some cases, cardiovascular effects. Communities near industrial facilities producing infrasound have reported these symptoms consistently. The challenge is that standard noise ordinances don't measure for it. A data center can pass every decibel limit on the books and still saturate a neighborhood with infrasound that affects residents' health over time. If we're writing new zoning regulations from scratch, this is our one chance to get ahead of this. I'm asking that the scope of work includes requirements for low frequency and infrasound monitoring, setback distances informed by infrasound propagation, and ongoing compliance testing after a facility is operational. We have an opportunity to protect the community from something most cities don't think about. So let's not waste it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any additional members of public that wish to address council? Keep in mind, we do have another public commentary opportunity as we get closer to our adjournment, but make sure there's no other comments at this point in time. Okay, well, we'll close this opening public comment, and we'll look for additional public comment before our meeting closes. With that, I would love to segue us to our presentations, and we have an exciting presentation related to our fire department.
Unfortunately, both of those members were unable to attend tonight due to work or prior commitments. But I do want to congratulate Sergeant Johnson and Sergeant Nemec on their 5 years of service to the department. We do have pins and certificates for them that they will get once I get to see them. So,
I really appreciate that update, and congratulations. And ultimately, let's look for a future forum for which they are available to make sure that we can celebrate. Any questions for the fire department?
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much. With that, I'd like to call your attention to our consent agenda. Council members of public, there are items A through L. I will not read each one of them specifically, but note that they have been publicly posted for reference. Council will be looking for a motion to approve consent agenda, items A through L.
Motion to approve consent agendas A through L.
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? Do not have a second. Is there any specific discussion to raise? All right. Do not have a second, so we will revisit that item as appropriate. With that being said, I'd like to call our attention to unfinished business, for which we do not have any this evening. So I would like to now segue to new business. Council and members of public, I will take item A. As provided in your packet, it's hard to believe, but we have a 6-month window coming up for our city administrator, Witherspoon. As a part of the agreement for her employment, we committed to a performance evaluation at 6 months. I'm not requesting any specific motion-based action from you this evening, but as you can see in your packet, I've laid out a plan on how we may approach this from a council member involvement, a broader city personnel involvement, the specific nature of the review form that we can utilize, and the timeline for review. So council, I'd like to call into your attention the specific details. We would target her review to take place on Monday, April 13th, which lands at approximately the 6-month mark, given her start date of October 14th. I would suggest that Councilman Cox and I are points on this process. By points, I mean responsible for gathering the review forms from all parties that are performing reviews, aggregating the data for those reviews, and making sure that's provided to council in advance of the April 13th target. So that's one area that I want to make sure we're aligned on. The second area is we've brought in department heads and other city personnel and offered them a chance to review our department heads, like City Administrator Witherspoon. While that's not material to her performance characterization, meaning council and the elected officials that are voting members here in this chambers are ultimately responsible for the material component of her performance review, I think the solicitation for review from the broader personnel and department heads is advantageous as we look at the day-to-day collaboration that is taking place in that office and capacity. So I'd like your feedback on that, if there's any objections. So that's the summation. The review form is also captured. The review form has been tailored to include her specific job duties as described, and you'll see those listed. Has questions with rating metrics for each of those focus pillar areas, and then ultimately a summary for open commentary. So in summary, that's the proposed plan. If there's any objections, please let me know, and if not, Councilman Cox and I will embark on our review execution and look forward to aggregating that information for council's review on the 13th. But I will hold to see if there's any comments that anybody has on that process before we kick it off accordingly. Any comments? All right, great. We'll look forward to that process and look forward to working with Councilman Cox accordingly.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, please.
Could we revisit item 7 on the agenda, consent agenda?
Could we revisit item 7?
Yeah, the consent agenda items.
What letter number is that?
Yeah.
Well, item 7 on the agenda is
A,
consent
B, C?
agendas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if my personal preference on not supporting any motion, I don't prefer having lot consolidation requests and any purchases such as the police department purchases and the fire department purchases included under consent agenda. If there would be support, I'd like to make a motion to remove item H, J, and L from the consent agenda and move those to new business.
Procedurally, city attorney, any issue with how this is prevailing?
No, if there's a motion on the floor to remove those, then
Great.
that would be the motion and needs a second to remove.
So we have a motion for removal of items H, J, and L from the consent agenda.
Under new
and
business.
putting them under new business.
business,
Is there a
Councilman
second?
Dill, I'll support that.
All right.
Second by Bosmer. Council members, any discussion?
Nope.
Katie, would you like a roll call or a voice vote for that shift?
We can do a roll.
Okay, Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
McNabb.
Yes.
Mulnar. Yes. Schumate.
Yes,
Bosmer.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Dill.
Yes.
the motion is carried.
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended.
We have a motion from Dill to approve the consent agenda as amended. Is there a second?
Support.
Second by Bosmer. Any discussion on that matter? Clerk Tomasic, please call roll.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes,
Bosmer.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Dill.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
motion carried. Thank you, Councilman Dill, and we will get back to our new business. Please keep in mind that those items have now shifted to be L, M, and N respectfully. With that being said, City Administrator Witherspoon, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. So as council knows, we have been looking for an engineer to act as our engineer of record here for the city so we can get started on our many infrastructure projects. Council approved an RFP. We put that out and we received 5 different very qualified bids from different engineering firms. Pursuant to the language in the RFP, the city then interviewed each of those 5 firms with a panel consisting of the DPW Director, John Sant, myself, the Trenton DPW Director, and an Assistant DPS Director from the Village of Milford. It was almost unanimous in selecting FMV from the panel for the following reasons. Number one, they are very aggressive in applying for and receiving grants for the communities they represent. One example they provided involved a community that could not provide a match for a grant they received, so FMV secured them a grant to cover that match. Number two, they are very responsive to staff and are willing to come to council meetings to present requests or information to council for free. As you can see, they're in the back corner there tonight. Their entire team is here. They also provide a wide variety of engineering services under the FMV umbrella for us to utilize if need be. And lastly, they specialize in communities the size of Gibraltar, and they specifically understand the financial and personnel constraints that communities like ours have. They are less expensive than our second choice firm, and we even did a cost comparison with a simple site plan review. And they came at the second place firm had a minimum cost for that of $750, and FMV was under the $750 for that review. So that minimum cost also did not include the additional fees. So for all the reasons described above, we are recommending FMV to be awarded the RFP. They are here tonight if council would like to hear from them or ask them any questions.
Make a motion to approve the firm Fleisen Vanderbrink?
Weiss and Vanderbrink.
Thank you. As supported by the city administration, interviewed by the city of Trenton and the village of Milford and our own DPW director.
We have a motion by Bosmer to award that bid. Do we have a second?
Support.
Second from McNabb. Council discussion.
I've got a few questions. Particular with respect to price, we don't have a very good grasp on, at least from my perspective, unless I'm missing something, we don't have a good grasp on price, other than a feel, I think. I see here for percentage of project costs, there's just a variable, they report a variable based on project percentage for design, for layout and staking, testing, and inspection, but give no indication as to what that variable percentage will be. I see that they have a preference towards lump sum compensation, and that they would provide a well-defined scope of services for feasibility to determine future construction engineering service costs. But that doesn't give us much reassurance once they're under contract as to what those costs turn out to be. For me, I don't see a fixed price here or I don't see anything that determines what our cost structure is going to be. I see hourly on some engineering scopes, for schedule scopes, but I really don't see anything that I could take to a budget and compare it.
So one of the things we spoke about with all the engineering firms was they all had some variables of this is variable based on project, this is not. So it was not, honestly, even though we had this sheet in the RFP, it was not an apples to apples comparison because they were all so wide. That's why we asked them a very specific question of, okay, if we have this site plan review, what will it cost? When we spoke with F&B about specific projects, they emphasized to us that because they work with smaller communities like ours, they understand the financial constraints, and they work with us based on what works better for us. Is it a percentage? Is it a lump sum? Whatever's better for us, and that could be done on a project-by-project basis as well.
This is one of the issues that I had with our previous engineering firm was the 9% kick-in fee of anything that went on. And when a project occurred that required staking, inspection, layout, and design, there was add 9% to the cost of construction. And I don't see anything to alleviate that pressure here. Furthermore, if somebody were to submit a site plan for something, we have only nothing in here that indicates what we're going to pass along to the person that proposes the site plan. So whoever plans on developing something has no way of figuring what their exposure is on this, and the city doesn't have a way of figuring what the total exposure is, other than the practice that you went through that is not non-binding. I feel like we're just missing a couple of pieces, in my opinion.
So I'm going to be honest, this was what I submitted to council as the RFP, and this is what was approved, and F&B filled that out. I wish it was asked at that point for this additional information, so we could have brought that information from all the firms and really calculated that out. I will say that for example, field staking, which you mentioned, they do it by hour, they don't do a percentage, and you can see that in this. They have the lowest hourly rate along with the highest. Those were also lower than what we were seeing for other firms. So I understand the frustration there, but those are things that we can work out on the back end if council approves us to move forward with F&B. I can bring to council a contract.
Do we have the ability to bring a contract before we approve it? And my concern, I think is well stated. I don't want to repeat the same thing, but before we enter into an engagement, I'd like to feel comfortable that we have a cost structure in place that we're going to be able to estimate, as opposed to.
I can absolutely go back and work on that. In the future, I am asking council that when I submit an RFP to council, we go through these things at that time, because technically this is the response we were given for an RFP, and this is to award an RFP, not necessarily to enter into an engagement letter. So I can go back if that's what council desires and work on that, though.
So council, you'd have the ability to withdraw said motion that we were in active discussion for if you so chose. If you so choose,
Councilman Bosmer's motion.
correct.
I'll put it toward a vote.
I'm sorry?
I'll put it toward a vote. We'll vote for that and see
Okay,
how
so
it all lands.
motion
Was there
stands.
was there support withdrawn?
Was
No.
there,
Councilman Bosmer made the motion.
But
who was on support, Katie?
McNabb.
McNabb, do you want to withdraw your
I
support?
would withdraw.
You're withdrawing your support? Okay.
Okay.
Understood. Yeah, I just want to echo City Administrator Witherspoon's commentary, which is the packet's released early intentionally for the sake of discussion and commentary that can be had with our city administrator, and the RFP was approved by council. But I think those are material points that you can take and look into and follow up on accordingly. All right, great. With that being said, we will move over to item C, and I will pass it back to you.
Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so as council is aware, there was a moratorium passed at the last meeting, and at that time, we discussed working with McKenna to develop a scope of work that addressed many of the community concerns we are seeing. We've also been working internally on a lot of due diligence of our own. So before you tonight is the scope of work for the data center ordinance changes. Jane from McKenna met with the ordinance committee to review what she was planning. She took their comments and concerns into consideration, and that is all reflective in the scope of work here. One thing I do want to note is during our due diligence, we did find that in May of 2024 is when council adopted the ordinance amendment to the industrial district, formally creating technical centers as a permitted use in the M1 district, which also applies to the M2 district. Additionally, I have asked Radon for an infrasound study, and I'm working with the Township of Van Buren to determine who they use for their independent sound studies so we can get that moving as well. So that's all in addition to the scope of work provided by McKenna, which will come at a cost of $6,000.
Council motion would be in your in your order.
I'll make the motion to have McKenna put a proposal for a zoning ordinance amendment per their proposal.
I second.
A discussion?
I think it's, I know that personally, I spent some time at a meeting with our zoning ordinance committee that had an opportunity to hear from Jane and talk with her about this particular issue. And I thought it was a very open dialogue. It felt very transparent, and it felt like we were all working in the same direction to try and get as much information as possible to produce an ordinance that addresses the issues that have been brought up by our residents. I think that Kristen, who's sent us a couple of super detailed emails and has brought forth some of her information up here, raises a lot of good points. And I want you to know that we've taken the information that you submitted in your emails to us, and they were talking points at our meeting, and they went into what McKenna is proposing to create as an ordinance. So I think that when they come back with their proposal, we will talk through those at the next meeting and see if we hit everything as much as possible on there so that we try to work together to find some sort of a solution.
Absolutely. Any further discussion?
I'd like to add, I think it was Jason by name, gentleman lives on Lowell, and his expert, SSME in sound engineering in his background. Some of those ideas he took up, can we address that with McKenna's with the scope of work they're going to perform? Is that possible?
So the sound engineering specifically, I just asked Radon for their own study, and I'm working with Van Buren Township to determine who they use for their independent studies. So
Great.
that's in progress.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Back to you.
So I'm going to bring up our new Parks and Rec Director, Hannah, to present the next one. It's an exciting opportunity for our city.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So, if you haven't heard, the Parks and Rec Department has the opportunity to partner with the DIA for their Inside Out project. It is a program that runs from late May through early October. They bring art to cities all over the Downriver area. There's a few, like Trenton, I know, is doing it this year as well. Installation is free. If they do any damage, they cover it. It's no cost to us. It's completely free. There's a few places that they're installing them. There's two types, freestanding and wall-mounted. The wall-mounted ones will be at Gil Talbert and Cook. And then the freestanding ones will be at the 5 Point intersection across from our beloved DQ, across from the City Hall Fire Department, and then at Island Drive Park. So I just wanted to be here to answer any questions you guys have and clarify what the program's all about.
Any questions for our Parks and Recreation Director?
In my previous election, I was able to be in the DIA like you're doing now, and I think it was a wonderful thing for our community. It was well received. A lot of people came out, and like you had stated, they put the apparatus in the ground, or they bring all the tools and equipment, and they resod if they have to. They take care of us when they're done too. So it's a pretty clean, seamless entry and exit. That's all I wanted to share. So thanks for doing that. Appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to echo, appreciate you for everything you're doing in your role. It's exciting to have you on board.
Thank you.
Any other discussion or comments?
Need a motion to approve that.
All right, we'll need a motion to approve this item.
Make the motion to approve the DIA program.
Motion by Bosmer, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Molnar, any further discussion to be had? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chief, floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. The Gibraltar Fire Department requires certain training and certifications for membership and invests significant resources in developing qualified personnel. The attached agreement in your packets establishes terms under which the member may be reimbursed for approved training costs and defines the service commitment required to earn this reimbursement. Unless otherwise expressly approved in writing by the city, the fire department member shall be responsible for paying all upfront costs associated with the training. Approved training costs shall be reimbursed according to the following schedule indicated in your packets. 0 to 12 months, no reimbursement. 13 to 18 months, 50% reimbursement. And 19 to 24 months, 75% reimbursement. And after 2 years, 100% reimbursement. The fire department member agrees to remain active with the Gibraltar Fire Department for a minimum of 2 years from the date of training is successfully completed. The reason this policy is adopted is due to the city of Gibraltar investing funds into an employee, and then they immediately leave after the training or after they're sponsored. I'm requesting approval to implement Gibraltar Fire Department Training Cost Reimbursement Agreement, Policy 15-22.
Council looking for a motion?
Make the motion to approve that policy.
Second.
Motion by Bosmer, a second by Dill. Council, any discussion on this matter?
I think it's a great idea. As a former firefighter, should commit for at least a couple of years. I think it's a great idea. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate you.
Chief, my only question, and it's probably in this write-up that I haven't read through yet, but is there anything that requires the folks that receive this reimbursement to make a certain amount of calls or be available a certain amount of time, or is that covered somewhere?
Yes, to be eligible, you have to obviously complete the training and successfully be active with the fire department. According to fire department policy, it's the operating and procedures policy.
Got it. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Maybe, as a caveat, a lot of folks in Grosse Ile get on. The fellow I used to work with was a retired law enforcement officer, and he got on because he needed health care, had children later in life, and the sole reason was, but they have to make a percentage of the meetings, not the meetings, but the call-outs, and if they don't, they fall off and they lose their health care benefits. So even Grosse Ile mandates some proper attendance and some calls that they have to make. So, again, I think it's a great idea.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Chief. Back to you.
Thank you. For this next item, I'm going to turn it over to John Song.
I have a motion for lift station pump maintenance. There's a motion to approve the quotes from Kennedy Industry to perform annual preventive maintenance on the existing submersible electric pumps that we have at the following locations. Main sanitary lift station, there's 4 pumps. The Bayview Storm Lift Station, there's 2 pumps. Middle Gibraltar Road Lift Station, says 4, we have 2 pumps there. Bayview Lift Stations, we have 2 individual ones there, so that's 2 pumps, and a Point Drive Storm Lift Station, 2 more pumps. At this time, Kennedy Industry only performs annual preventive maintenance on the main sanitary lift station pumps. The other lift station pumps only get checked to see if they are operational by the DPW. If there's a problem, Kennedy gets contacted to come out and repair the pump. The annual preventive maintenance is a wise item to do, as we had to replace one of the pumps at the Bayview Storm Lift Station last year that cost us $22,000, and the lead time to get a pump was 5 months. We have flight pumps in the lift stations, in the main sanitary and storm lift stations, and 4-inch pumps in the Bayview and Point lift stations. Kennedy is the local flight representative. We did look at changing them out, but there isn't a pump compatible with the systems that we have. Schedule immediately upon council approval, and it'll cost us $8,900 a year.
I make the motion to approve this motion for Kennedy Industries for preventive maintenance.
Motion by Molnar, is there a second?
I second.
Second by McNabb. Council discussion?
I think, like the director mentioned, the $22,000 cost last year was something that we didn't expect, and we've been relying on internal maintenance of these pretty critical items. And our guys are pretty well-versed with doing the basics of the maintenance, but some of the stuff, the further stuff like the impellers, taking some of the stuff apart has, well, as we've seen in the nests that were inside of.
Yes.
That is something that we just don't have the expertise with internally, and sourcing it to somebody who does that for a career for a reasonable value of $8,900 annually for all of them, I think is good value and
Yes,
necessary.
Kennedy has been a very good source.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Back to you, John.
Okay. My next motion is motion to approve a quote from Batco Incorporated for a new Raycom utility locator. Our existing Fisher utility locator is a 2001 model and is a discontinued model. The existing unit is used regularly on misdig staking requests and water main locating for repairs. Our unit has limitations on distance and requires multiple setups on long runs. The Raycon SnapTrack utility locator is a newer model of utility locators that are available. The new units are lighter and have increased range with a 10-watt transmitter requiring fewer setups. Batco will also provide free training on this piece of equipment to the employees, and they provide support and consultation when needed. The unit comes with a 4-year factory warranty. Other manufacturers only offer 2 years and no training. Batco recommends that our existing unit, if we elect to have it repaired and calibrated and keep it as a spare. The trade-in value of that unit is less than $500. Batco is also holding a 2-day training class in late April in Romulus. They plan on sending our DPW employees to learn about utility locating. Only one man will go to each day of the training. Schedule is upon council approval. The cost is $5,931.25. I've attached the quote and the literature and one other quote that I got.
Motion's in your court, counsel.
I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of the Rycom utility locator.
Motion by Cox. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dill. Council discussion?
This is a valuable tool.
Yes.
Upgraded system is helpful. So you never know what you're going to find when you dig in the dirt. So having a better idea before that is a good idea.
Yes.
My only question is whether or not MISDIG or the related organizations have any grants for items like this that we know of at all?
I'm not aware of any.
No.
Aware of any?
No, this is similar to the equipment that Miss Dig uses and the other utility locating company.
Any further discussion?
Well, we're obviously responsible for locating our utilities within whatever request is being made. So better accuracy is a good thing.
Yes.
Could have used this at Point Drive.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. City Administrator Witherspoon, floor is yours.
Thank you. So if you may recall, over the last year, the city has had a number of different street administrators, but I feel very confident that we found one that will stay with us and work on this role excellently. So this is the MDOT resolution to designate John Sant as the streets administrator. For those of you who don't know, the streets administrator is a function that is a role whose main function is to certify all of our Act 51 documents. That way we get our Act 51 money as a city. The fiscal impact here is approximately $600,000 in major and local street funding from MDOT, but it requires them to have a resolution officially appointing our DPW director.
Make the motion to appoint John Cassant to the MDOT resolution designate for street administrative for the city of Gibraltar.
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Molnar. Any discussion on this matter?
Thank you, Mr. Cassant.
You're welcome.
Appreciate you for carrying the torch forward. And thanks for those that have served in that capacity in the past. And I'm looking at you, Chief. Any further discussion? This is going to require a roll call, so Clerk Tomasic, whenever you're ready, we'll pass it to you for roll.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Schumate.
Yes.
Bosmer.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Dill.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yes.
Motion carried. City Administrator, back to you.
Thank you. So this next item, Collins Engineering is working on a grant application for us, similar to the grant we received for the Horse Island Bridge. And in order to do that, MDOT requires that the city pass a resolution of support. That's attached in your packet today. Essentially, we are applying for a grant that requires a 5% match. This match is only applicable if the city is awarded and accepts the grant. We are not tied to accepting the grant or providing the 5% match at this time. It's merely a resolution of support so we can apply for the grant.
Motion for the resolution to support for the Young Bridge Drive, Bridge grant money support. Is that correct? Probably should word that a little better.
Focus on application, I would say.
Yeah. An application to submit for the grant for the Young Drive Bridge. How's that?
Good.
All right. Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Cox. Council, any discussion? I know there's been public meetings within the chambers within our previous administration around this topic, deep diving on the engineering perspectives, the data, and the historical considerations. So I encourage, and I know there was a comment earlier, I encourage anybody to tune in to watch the totality of that information. But thank you for the proposal. We have a active discussion. Any further discussion to add, council? Clerk Tomasic, we will pass it to you for roll.
Schumate.
Yes.
Bosmer.
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Dill.
Yes.
McNabb.
Yeah.
Mulnar.
Yes.
Motion carried, and we will now consider a request to enter closed session to discuss strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of the Teamsters collective bargaining agreement. So council, you're looking for a motion to enter closed session?
Motion to enter closed session.
Second.
with a active discussion. Members of public, you're more than welcome to stay in your seats. We are going to go upstairs as we always do for closed session matters, and then we would motion to return to closed session. Before we do that, just a reminder that the appointment of Parks and Rec Director, the lot consolidation request, the police department purchase, and the fire department repairs the ladder truck will be the next items on the agenda, which obviously have since been revised real time here. So feel free to stay. And with that, Clerk Domestic, please call roll.
Bosmer?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Dill?
Yes.
McNabb? Mulnar?
Yes.
Schumate?
Yes. Can we turn those mics off, and we will return when we... give a minute for our city attorney to return. All right, council, as our city attorney is returning to his seat, may we request a motion to return to our open city council meeting?
Motion to, yeah.
So moved.
Motion by Dill, support by Bosmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That will bring us to our items, and I'll just recalibrate us that we have 4 remaining items as a reflection of the modified agenda and approved as such. The next item is item K, which is our appointment to Parks and Rec Director, Commission. What I'd like to do is defer you to the packet. And the specific motion we are requesting is to appoint Thaddeus M. Bianco III to the City of Gibraltar Recreation Commission. Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make that motion to
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Dill. Council, any discussion on this appointment?
I'm just real happy we have other people wanting to step up and be part of our group. And 45-year-long resident here, and I like his background, so thank you for stepping up, Mr. Bianco.
Yeah, and just a context for that, Bill, which is we need as many people as possible to engage on some of these commissions. For context, we have 4 residents, potentially 5 if this appointment is successful, and 1 council member. So I appreciate Hannah stepping into her role as Parks and Recreation Director. And for anybody that's listening, we would welcome an application for our commission. Any further discussion?
Agreed.
All right, since this is an appointment, we'll have City Clerk please call a roll.
Dill,
Yes.
McNabb,
Yes.
Mulnar,
Yes.
Schumate,
Yes.
Bosmer,
Yes.
Cox.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thaddeus, welcome to the Parks and Recreation Commission, and we'll make sure you have all information in the playbook to join. With that, I would like to now remind us that we took items from the consent agenda to new business. So in this case, we have item L, which is the lot consolidation request.
So at the last planning commission meeting on Tuesday of last week, there was a proposal before the planning commission to consolidate lots 0067 and 0068. Councilman Cox was present and he voted on that motion. Planning commission ultimately recommended to council to approve the lot consolidation, but I'll let Councilman Cox speak on the details.
The city administrator is correct. There was debate on this consolidation based on, there's 2 primary structures, 1 on each lot, and accessory structures on each lot. The intent is to demo one of the primary structures on one of the lots and leave the accessory structure. We conversed about the zoning requirements for that, and if you're outside the ordinance, if you're parking a vehicle in that secondary accessory structure, you would be outside the ordinance, but any other thing stored in those buildings is acceptable. So after that review and discussion, the commission went forward with recommending the approval of the lot consolidation.
Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that the information that was, at least I was privy to, was that the individuals that put this request forth had bought a home that was in quite disrepair, and we're looking to demolish that, yet this accessory structure was in better shape, and thus they'd like to preserve that, so just for practical context.
Thank you for that added.
All right, so,
I make a motion to approve lot consolidation requests, lots 67 and 68.
Support.
Do I have to list off the parcel numbers? Thank you.
we have a motion by Dill, we have support by Councilman Bosmer. Any further discussion on this matter?
No, I think it's good that somebody's investing in the, continuing to improve the look of the properties in our community.
Well said.
Concur.
Would you like a voice vote for this, or a roll call vote for this?
I do a voice vote, I think.
Do a voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Next item is for our police department. So Chief, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. The Police Department's Motorola charging station is currently having mechanical problems. The charging station is how we charge the Motorola APX 6000 portable radios. We currently have 11 Motorola prep radios. I would like to utilize Bernie grant funds for the purchase. I'm requesting to purchase a Motorola multi-unit Impress radio charging station using Bernie grant funds in the amount of $1,824.56.
Motion to approve the chief's request.
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by McNabb. Council, any discussion on this matter?
You said we have 11, Meow?
Chief, you got a question?
I'm sorry?
There's 11?
Yes, 11 total.
Is that what we're replacing with, the 11 also?
This is gonna be a 6-unit charger, because that's the biggest they make.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if I can get the other unit repaired. Now, obviously, that would be ideal, but it's on its way out.
Got it.
So,
Any further discussion? All right, this will be a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Next, we have a fire department matter, which is repairs to the ladder truck.
Good evening. I'd be looking to have a motion to have the ladder truck repaired. We had several air leaks on it with a couple other smaller issues, lighting maintenance, and windshield wiper issues. The total amount is $3,928.33. This would be coming out of a already budgeted account for vehicle maintenance.
Make a motion to approve the fire department's request.
We have a motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second?
Second.
I heard Dill first.
That's air brakes too, right?
Any discussion on this matter? Art, do you have a question?
No, it's important.
Any further discussion on this matter? This will be a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. With that, it will conclude our new business items as amended. So we will turn over to our members of public for any public comment you may have. Any members of our public wish to address council? Not seeing any public comment at this time, so we will close public comment and turn it over to Clerk Tomasic.
Thank you. I have no report tonight.
Any questions or comments for Clerk Tomasic? We do not have a treasurer report because he's not in attendance this evening, so we'll turn it over to council. Any council reports
Got
to
a
share?
couple of small ones if I can go
Please.
first, okay? So March 24th, which is tomorrow, we have a Parks and Recreation meeting. It's open to the public. Anybody that'd like to come out and hear what's going on with the Easter event and other things that are coming up, at 6:30 upstairs at the conference room. So that's tomorrow. April 10th, there's a blood drive in Gibraltar at the Gil Talbert Community Center from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. The last appointment time is 3:45 p.m. Michigan Secretary of State mobile office will also be out at the same exact time. They start at 10 a.m. Their last appointment's at 2:50 p.m. You don't have to have an appointment. You can make one. Like to have everybody come out and take advantage of that state benefit that is at no cost to the city of Gibraltar. They'll be here all day long. You can pretty much do anything you can do at a branch office without the appointment. Well, with just walk up and get your stuff done. So I think it's a great benefit. And that's the only thing I think I can think of to report. So thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, please.
I have two things tonight. One, I will be having office hours from 4 to 5 p.m. on Wednesday in the first floor conference room. And last Thursday, I attended the SEMCOG General Assembly as the voting member in absence of Councilwoman LaPointe. We approved 26-27 fiscal year budget for SEMCOG and the comprehensive economic development strategy. We also had a panel of 3 organization leaders, nonprofits that talked about economic resiliency and so on. A lot of it seemed manufacturing based, given our area and the automotive industry. Other than that, it was a pretty good event. They kicked off peer group meetings, which are rural, suburban, urban, and then small suburban communities. So they kicked that off, and they plan on having more going forward into the future. Other than that, that's all I have tonight.
Any additional council reports? The floor is yours.
Thank you. So just a few items. A reminder to everyone that on April 4th, we will be having our Easter event. It includes pancake breakfast, kindly put on by our fire department, along with Easter egg hunts and a marshmallow drop. I have heard that the Easter Bunny will also be in attendance, so please join us for that. I also want to encourage all of our community members to check out our City of Gibraltar website, where we have created a page dedicated towards the data center. It includes an FAQ along with additional resources. We will be adding to that as we go. Tonight was an important step on determining the next steps forward, and that will be added as well. So please keep an eye on that page. We will not be posting on Facebook every time we update it, because we will be updating it fairly regularly. So please keep an eye on that. Additionally, I do just want to answer one of Lenore's questions about the gas station. We are also trying to understand what is happening at the gas station. The police chief and I have been reaching out. We just spoke about it this morning, as a matter of fact. The last communication we have with them is us asking for an Eagle report about the gas tanks, and they did indicate that it is up for sale, but we haven't been able to verify that because we have not found anything of that. And that is all the updates I have for tonight.
I have one question.
Yeah,
for the
please.
Administrator, if possible. What is the status of our strategic plan? I know we met in January. I don't recall if it was the first or second meeting, but we met in January. What is the status of that?
So I took all of that. I sent council all of the raw data. I also sent it to department heads. And as we're going through the budget, we are assessing what is feasible within that budget. As council is aware, because I sent this to you all, our projected budget right now includes a deficit. We are working to mitigate that. So many of the items on the strategic plan that cost money are not currently feasible within the current budget, but that's the discussion we're going to have come our budget workshop.
When do you anticipate us seeing like a finalized document for us to review, give or take?
You guys are included in the finalized document, and that's why it will be discussed at the budget workshop, which I believe Amy has scheduled in April or May.
All right.
Great. Any other questions for City Administrator Witherspoon? All right, well, I'll close out with my report. Just two items that I wanted to give a shout out on. One was to our fire department, who navigated a fire on March 13th. From what I received in information, it was a quick response that mitigated further impact of the home and was a collaboration across many communities. So just a big shout out to our fire department, and I want to make sure that we can acknowledge them today. The second item I wanted to flag was I got a note from a resident, and I think there's a lot of things we could give a shout out to, but Parsons has an inventors club, and they competed at the Wayne State, Wayne County Regional Invention Convention. And our students, collectively speaking, took second, third, fourth, and fifth place, and they'll be going on to the Invention Convention State Finals at the end of April. So just shout out to the school district more broadly, all the teachers, and want to make sure that we wish them luck as they progress into the state convention in April. Any questions or comments for me? Well, with that, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion by Bosmer. Do we have a second? Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
I don't use it.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you, you too. I did, yes. I'm so sorry.
I'm not trying to be too
Go,
flashy.
go for it.
All right, cool.
No, it's great. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to
We're
respond.
just running out of time. We're not
Yeah.
running out of time, but I would love to see this at 15
Yeah.
appointments and a little bit
Yeah,
average. With my new job, I'm just busier, so I was like,
Yeah.
all right, great.
perfect.
So I'm just
Thank
thinking
you.
like South Rockwood, Rockwood, Brownstown, just the ones that are super close by.
That's
Not like
perfect.
Rouge or Ecorse. I mean,
Yeah.
they're important too, but.
Yeah, no, I love it. Thank you.
All right.